Hey, what's going on? Back here in the lab. Welcome back. Couple of things I want to put in this video. Thank you so much, guys, for giving me your feedback on where you thought the direction of this channel was going to go. Basically, I think I tried to think about how I wanted to do this and what direction I wanted to go, and I started to kind of think back to when I was creating a lot of content, and what I would do before is that I would put together a content map and I would brainstorm everything I wanted to talk about, and then when I sat down to go do that, nothing came out. Like, I couldn't generate any ideas. There's been a lot of things that have been going down, and I think I'm approaching this new, I guess, phase of getting the lab in this channel, this new phase of my life, this new phase of everything. And I think the easiest way for me to keep on creating content without getting bogged down and still doing what I set out to do, which was to focus solely on KLV, using this channel as a means of journaling, as a means of self-development and sharing my life with you guys. So it's just gonna be kind of random. I'm gonna try to keep it under the theme of self-development and growing and stuff like that. Definitely growing. I think that's always gonna be a theme in every single video that I put out, and even in the past, but it's always gonna be a little bit kind of random. I mean, that's the lab, everything's an experiment, and I hope that you stick around for that. So I think in this video, what I want to focus on is I've had a lot of time to reflect. I've had a lot of time to cry even, like, and I don't even know why sometimes. I'll just start crying. Like when I was driving back, I think it's because I miss my dog too, but even before that. Not that anything's wrong with my dog. My dog is staying with my parents because we're about to take off to Vancouver this week, but I think I was sad that, and I try to make sense of it, I think I was sad it's kind of the end of an era, you know, and I was on this new venture. I was solely closing my doors to certain things and shutting off even my mind to certain things. Like, I think that's why I couldn't sit down and just create a content map for what I wanted to do, because I'm just so focused on what I need to do in KLV. Like, I don't want to deter from that, you know, and I think that's kind of the main thing to kind of take away from this video. Okay, so a big thing that I've learned so much over the past 3 years, and to really sum up the biggest lessons that I can share with you guys, that I can impart with you guys, and I'll drop these little nuggets along the way because that would be a long ass video, but in this one is to really dig deep and really ask yourself what you want. Okay, because I'm going through a little bit of this myself, and I'm seeing it in other people. So right now my focus is recruiting people into our wedding photography team. We're trying to build a team, we're trying to grow, we're in the growth phase, as like my mentor calls it. And to do that, we need to recruit. And so I'm recruiting, I'm asking, I'm posting on Insta, I'm posting on Facebook, like, hey, KOV is now hiring for an intern position in our company. I've laid out the whole program. I'm like, this is where you start assisting, you start second shooting, you could lead, and then you could be like an ultimate lead, like what Kevin is doing, right? And so we're kind of passing the torch down and teaching our craft in our way to people who are willing to work with our company, and people who aren't necessarily want to run the business side of things, because man, it takes so much, you know, and if you're one person, it takes so much to establish a business nowadays, even in a competitive industry like wedding photography, or any industry for that matter. And so if it's kind of perfect for those people who maybe dabbled in that or don't want to deal with that business side of things, the marketing, the admin, the booking the client, the generating the leads, the booking the sale, right, closing the deal. They don't want to deal with that. They just want to focus on shooting, right? And so I'm recruiting, and I'm talking to this one guy, and this guy goes, you know, I don't know, like, you guys want me right now, or you guys want me, like, is it okay if I hit you up in a couple of weeks? And I was like, look, dude, I already laid out for you about what this business is about. We're very serious about it, and it's really about what you want. You know, there can be a lot of stuff going down in your personal life, in any situation. There could be a lot going down in your personal life, but if you want this thing, like you want to become a full-time photographer, then you have to want it. And there are going to be some things that you have to choose versus that. So that means everything. It's like you want to go out with your friends, or you want to edit these photos so you can put it up and blog it the next day, right? It's like that passion for what you want to do, that drive and that want, it just has to invade everything in your life in a good way, right? Because you're passionate about it. And as I try to recruit people, I already know the difference between somebody who's passionate and somebody who's just kind of looking for, hey, this could be fun for a while. And we really don't have a lot of time to be like, let me just try it out. It's okay to have conversations with people to like try them out. But I'm already looking for flags, signs, and things like this that's going to denote to me, is this something that they really want, or are they kind of in denial themselves? So that's something that, I can impart to you guys, where there was many times where I was like, is this something that I really want? And for all intents and purposes, it was for a certain amount of time, which is fine. Sometimes you just change. You get older, people change, and in this time in your life, this is what you wanted. Now that I'm at this part in my life, this is what I want, right? And so I close some things down, I let some things go. Same thing can be said, but you always have to be honest with yourself about what you want, and be willing to face and be courageous and to do the work to get that thing. Right? You got to be really honest with yourself. And so I was honest with myself, and I said, hey, I don't want to do a live event. Canceled it. I'm not ready, or I don't want to put in that kind of work. I don't want to deal with even the success that work is going to bring from that type of event. I don't want to do that type of thing, and it's okay as long as you're okay with it. You got to be really upfront about yourself, with yourself. So that's something that I want to impart in this video as I'm going through the process of recruiting people and really trying to figure out the signs and the behaviors and the language that people use as they're trying to decide, is this something that I want to do, right? And they're really, as we see it, Kevin and I, looking at people who we're recruiting and who's going to be a viable applicant, basically. There's kind of the worker, and then there's the manager, right? That's kind of how we see it. And you can kind of put different kind of labels, like the 9-to-5er or the entrepreneur, the people that want to run things, or the people who want to work under somebody. And there's nothing wrong with either side of those. It's just understanding where your strengths are and where you're going to tolerate that sort of lifestyle, or be happy with that sort of lifestyle moving forward, because as we look at the people that we want to recruit, they're the type of people who find a mediocre job, and maybe it's like the pay's never going to rise above $18 an hour or something like that, and they maybe don't have a degree, and it's kind of like, we call that dead end, right? I don't think it's dead end. It's just perhaps maybe you were steered in a direction where you didn't focus on your strengths and weren't able, or don't know how to maximize your strengths, right? And have them work for you. And it's not like we figured it out. We're not rolling in the dough or anything like that, but we are in the groove of our strengths. And that makes a big difference in how you view the rest of your life and how you wake up to your day, right? So that's just something that I want to impart to you guys, and it's something that my mentor always drills in me, take those Colby tests, take those personality tests, find out what your strengths are, learn how to communicate because you're this way, learn how to communicate to others who are that way, finding out what your strengths are, and learning about what you want, and actually executing the actions that it takes to get it. So I just found it interesting. I'm now in a position of being able to manage stuff and still doing kind of the worker bee stuff, which is fine, but it's interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys, and that's kind of what I've been focusing on lately. So that's it, guys. That's the video. It's kind of long anyway, so we're gonna get ready. A couple of tidbits. P.S. We're going out of town. It should be really fun, and we're gonna do a trash the dress session. So Kevin's gonna shoot me in my wedding dress, and I'm gonna get it dirty basically, and I'm gonna be rolling around in the mud, in the grass, in the dirt. I don't know, actually. I don't know what we'll get into, but I want to have a lot of fun with it, and yeah, we'll get back to you on those pictures, and of course I'll be vlogging along the way. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks for hanging out here in the lab. If you like this video, please give it a like, and I'll see you next time here in the lab. Peace out.